One. Hey there, folks. How's it going? Adman and Captain Fox here once again in the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles Resolve.
We're back once again.
So yeah, last time we found out where Jigoku was thanks to the intervention of Shones and the actual partner, Mikotoa.
Yeah.
Mikotoa.
Yeah, for a change, he did not mislead anyone with any obtrusive tangent. Also, Shisiro was trying to smuggle himself out of the country.
So he's holding out something big that we're gonna find out what. Oh yes, it was shocking to see that Harlock Shaw was, to put it that way, he was playing left-handed all this time, and now he's playing with his dominant hand, to put it that way.
He was playing handicapped, but now he's all business.
So let's see. The unexpected half of the proceedings sent a clamor around the courtroom. But outside the Bailey, where Londoners knew nothing of the secret trial within, it was a typical still night.
But outside, the secret trial continued in secret under the secret watch of the secret government, secretly.
Then, at a little past 8 o'clock that evening, Mr. Sholmes and his partner returned to Baker Street. Ooh! Food!
Hey, happy Thanksgiving, everyone! We have returned, my dear fellows.
Welcome back to Britain, and thank you for your timely help.
Think nothing of it. I believe you've had an even more wearing day than Mikotoba and I know.
You could say that. We were on the brink of defeat on court earlier.
So, this prosecutor, Asogi, had you on the ropes, did he? And he's your best friend, you say?
Well, he's not really the man I knew in Japan anymore. Kazuma's changed. Oh, Mr. Rohodo.
It's like he found someone else to love other than me.
I mean, it's incredible. To think that he's even entertained the idea of acting as the Reaper assassin.
Well, nevertheless, you must introduce me. And after all, I've only ever met the young man as a corpse.
When all of this started, almost a year ago now. Mr. Jones still hasn't told the truth about what really happened back then. Oh yeah, he still knows that.
Because every time he tries, he keeps getting cut off by something.
About the motivation of what he himself described as a great detective's lie.
Now then, I must say, it's really quite a journey all the way to France.
Well, it is another country, Mr. Shums, so what news of Judge Jigoku? We took him to Scotland Yard. The investigating detectives there had a lot of questions for the man.
Oi!
For Professor Mikotoa, this must be quite a shock for him.
Yes. I picked this up at the telegraph office on my way home.
Oh, what now? What is it?
Surely you haven't forgotten already. I put upon you for the matter only yesterday.
You put upon me, Shums. I had to fill out your telegram to Japan and foot the bill as well. Oh, you had a reply already? Oh, so urgent though, Mr. Shums.
And such matters can wait until later. I'm far too hungry for an involved conversation at present.
Oh, come on.
Well, that's good news, because supper is ready, everyone! And what a feast it is! If I were none the wiser, I'd think the trial were won already. Roast beef, kippers, stew, steak, and kidney pie, Yorkshire pudding. Tomorrow could be a very long day, so eat up, or else! In that case, I think I'll seat myself just here. This place appears to be the only one set with a helping of pheasant as well. Oh, sorry, Hurley, not there. Why ever not? Are we in set places this evening? Yes, and that place is for Susie's daddy.
For me?
That's right. I made especially for you, Professor Mickey.
I see. Well, that's very kind of you.
It's a shame, really.
What do you mean?
Well, for a brief moment, I believed it. That Susie and I were half-sisters, I mean.
Wow. Oh! Iris, you mean?
Yes, I know now. I overheard yesterday. Oh, finally! I secretly listened into the conversation you had after I tricked you all into thinking I left. What? What? Ow!
The misunderstanding arose because of that Tootsie report from 10 years ago. But actually, it turned out that neither Dr. Wilson nor Professor Mikotatawa are Iris' father. I kinda knew it.
Yes, about that, Iris. You know, I know. You can't tell me at the moment.
Oh, Iris.
The pheasant is by way of an apology. I'm sorry for eavesdropping.
Oh, no, that's quite alright.
Then why don't I get any apologetic pheasant?
So just who is Iris' father? I suppose that's not something we'll be finding out today.
That's something we'll find out in the third game. Oh wait. So then, let us dine while our largely pheasantless plates are still piping hot.
A fine idea, Sholmes. It all looks absolutely delicious.
Eat as much as you like. There are always seconds.
This could be our last chance to ask questions before tomorrow's trial. About that telegram from Japan, and about Kazuma. I can't let this opportunity slip away. But before, let me have a little bit of pheasant.
Is he just gonna grouse there because he didn't get any roast chicken?
Let's check around it. Yeah, I guess he's the only one. Well, let's check out
everyone else is left.
Yep.
Really, we don't get any conversation about the chicken?
Mr. Jones, what are you doing?
Surely it's abundantly clear that I wasn't brooding over Mikotoba's refusal to share his pheasant with me. Nevertheless...
Oh my god!
I felt the need to withdraw from the social circle for a while and look on with hungry eyes.
Oh boy.
Sorry, Hurley, but I took that pheasant especially for Susie's daddy. Even though I've played the role of father to you for far longer.
Mr. Holmes. Could I discuss some things with you?
Certainly, my dear fellow. I find myself quite in the mood for a spell of conversation. No doubt, you're hungry to learn more of my deep love of game.
I can probably contain my curiosity on that one.
You needn't look at me in that fashion.
In what fashion?
It seems that before we discuss the pheasant, we have some rather unpheasant matters to discuss.
That's one way to put it. So, what was in the telegram you received back from Japan then?
This. I thank my lucky stars it arrived in time. Record found as indicated, duplicate follows. K. Asogi, A. Shin, T. Gregson, J. Wilson.
What? Those 4 names? We come across the same set list before, on the last game.
Yes, we did.
They came out in that unforgettable case last spring.
In the decoded message.
Yep. What appeared to be a simple case of aggravated murder turned out to be the masking monumental intrigue. A plot that involved the sale of British governmental secrets to foreign states. Exposing the means by which those secrets were being leaked with a cipher and fragment as a message. K. Asogi, A. Shin, T. Gretson, J. Wilson. But we didn't find the names until the last case was over, and we never did get at the bottom of what they meant. All we knew was that information had been sent by somewhere in the British government to somebody in Japan. So, why are the names coming up again now?
Where'd he go?
Yes, where did the telegram corridor, Mr. Sean? By the way, where are you? Oh, there you are.
I have here the message I had wired yesterday. Allow me to read it to you. Enter Judge Jigoku's office undetected and investigate telegram records. Expect to find communication from Britain dated 1 year ago. List of 4 names need by tomorrow. Naruhodo.
I sent it to a detective I know who specializes in clandestine missions of this nature. Don't tell me!
Yeah, is it that guy with the tuberculosis?
Don't tell me, Sam. You ask Inspector Honosaga to undertake such an audacious task for you. And don't think he's still wearing Mr. Toro on his hair all this time.
He still has Mr. Turtle on his head. I love it. It's still that portrait.
And in my name. I wonder what guys he up to for this time.
My dear fellows, it was a matter of great urgency, you understand.
Anyway, the list of names was found in Seishiro's office, as Sholmes predicted. So you mean that mysterious collection of names that was sent from Britain to Japan was... It was sent to Judge Jigoku! He was the intended recipient! I don't believe it. But that does ask the question what the list of names actually signifies.
I did formulate a hypothesis about that.
Here we go.
But without a shred of evidence, I couldn't possibly have shared it.
Mr. Sholmes looks deadly serious for once. And we have the... Okay. Let's check it out real quick. Record from the brigade... Okay.
We have all the evidence that they collected, too.
Yep.
We
Right
should
there.
investigate this, too, yeah.
Oh, yeah. You've seen these little things all over the place, don't you? It's a part of the top of a pocket watch that you twist to set the time, isn't it? It's called the crown, I believe. A watch will be quite useless without one. The crown? Like what sits on top of a monarch's head. That's a very grand name for such a tiny part. But actually... Yes, Mr. Ohado? If this is a crown... I have a feeling I have seen a monarch around here somewhere with a very, very head. If by monarch you mean pocket watch, then I'm quite sure you have.
Alright, let's examine the... Okay, so that's that.
No much should summon that. Okay.
Alright, let's examine the pocket watch again. Oh, here we go.
Yeah, that's the... All members required to assemble and maintain at 10 p.m. to review conscientious. Build 20 minutes. Okay. So that happened.
Okay.
The sword we check already.
We already checked out the sword. Let's go back to the pocket watch and examine the bit missing its crown.
Oh, right here. What do you think, Mr. Sato? I feel sure I know exactly what will fit here. Really? I was just thinking precisely the same thing. We're about to see that little round component. It's actually part of Spencer Gretzon's broken pocket watch. Really? I was just thinking precisely that too. Click. A perfect fit. I knew it. Alright, perhaps you knew it. I'll make another Disney information at once. So yeah, that was on Jigoku's hand, so yes.
Well, it fell into his possession somehow.
Yes, we know about this already, so. Okay, let's continue.
Alright.
That tragedy we had to go through on the SS Buria. Hey, girl crazy, how you doing? Hey,
hello.
Not bad, actually. It was all for nothing. Kazuma wasn't dead at all. We were completely taken in by the lies you told us. Your great detective lie.
I took no pleasure in deceiving you. However, at the time, all that concerned me was preventing the young man's study tour from taking place, whatever the cost.
What?
I capitalized on the events that transpired to see that he was sent back to Japan.
His remains, you mean?
Precisely, Miss Susato. And then, I made sure that somebody else was sent to Britain in his stead.
Oh my! You mean?
The arrangement between our two countries was already in place. One university student lawyer and one judicial assistant to be accommodated on a study tour. In other words, by arranging for someone else to fill the place originally intended for Mr. Asogi, I would successfully prevent the man from arriving on our shores for several years at least.
Oh, wait, do you mean to say that it was all in aid of stopping Kazuma to come into Britain? That's why you...
Think back, Mr. Naruhodo. Was there not somebody who quite casually urged you to continue on the voyage to England?
The terms of the study were negotiated by the Department of Justice in both Great Britain and Japan. In the light of Mr. Asuga's unfortunate death, I'm afraid the study tour can no longer take ahead.
My dear fellows, the majority of problems have an extremely simple solution, you know. And all you require is one lawyer, and the study tour can continue, surely.
But there is no one else with the necessary qualification, Mr. Jones. We know of no other lawyer.
The voyage to London still promises a good month of time. Ample opportunity, I would say, to find yourselves another suitable lawyer.
So, you manipulated me.
And I've often remarked on the extraordinary lengths to which friendship will drive a man. To put it quite bluntly, Mr. Naruhodo, I manipulate everyone! And I was quite sure you would rise to the challenge for your late friend.
I don't believe it. But if it was so contrived, I mean, what happened that was treated by the authorities as murder? A woman was mistakenly arrested as the perpetrator. What do you suppose became of her? Probably dead.
Naturally, I didn't allow the misapprehension to have any serious repercussions. And I subsequently explained everything and assisted the unfortunate soul in finding the foreign refuge she sought.
Oh. I seem to remember Miss Susato and I had some rather strong words for her. Bitch, for one.
Well, she was certainly not devoid of all guilt. She deserved every word, I'm sure. Plus, after I pushed her off the ship into the water below, she found her refuge at last. No, that didn't happen. That didn't happen, I swear.
I wonder if she made it to America then. I wonder if they make a movie out of it. Or maybe
Land of the free and home of the braves? I would sure hope so.
Maybe change her name to Anastasia. I'm afraid I simply cannot comprehend it. Why would you go to such lengths, Mr. Sholmes? Why were you so determined to stop Kazuma-sama from reaching Britain?
The truth is, 12 months ago, there was already a very tangible omen of the impending tragedy, you see.
Oh?
An omen that, at this very moment in time, is close at hand.
Eh? An omen of all these tragic events that already existed a year ago is close at hand? We need to find out exactly what Mr. Shaw knows. So...
Oops, too late.
We need
You're
to
out
present...
of time.
Okay, what to present to make it talk? Probably this.
We already got that from him.
There was no room for doubt in your instruction in this telegram, Mr. Sholmes. You were very clear that it was Judge Jigoku's office that should be searched, though. You obviously knew that that's where the list of names will be found. Kei Asogi, Aishin, Tegratson, J. Wilson. But we only learned those 4 names just over 6 months ago now. And only because they appeared as part of the top secret government communications that were leaked.
And that's true, yes. But at the time, you were unaware of the background. You see, those 4 names were wired to Japan. Around 6 months before that, approximately this time last year, in fact, when you were both still in Japan.
Eh?
It really would be hypocrisy on my part to reprove others for intercepting state secrets. Because after all, I'm perpetually eavesdropping on communications between British and Japanese governments.
And you look so proud of it. You're perpetually doing what? How?
Never mind the details, but you should know. No secret is safe from Herlock Sholmes, when he has designs on knowing it.
Oh my, Mr. Sholmes! What a fabulous line!
Now, 1 month after that list of 4 names was wired to the recipient Jigoku in Japan, Dr. John H. Wilson was murdered.
Eh?
And as soon as I learnt of the incident, a hypothesis rapidly took shape in my mind. As it turned out, I was partially correct, and partially mistaken. Nevertheless, it was the beginning of all the tragic events that were to follow.
Mr. Sholmes, please, tell us what you know, all you know. Tell about these 4 names and the tragedy to which they are all somehow connected. There is?
As I said, when I learnt of Dr. Wilson's murder in Japan, my mind immediately turned to those 4 names, because you see, there was someone else on the list, who I believe to be recently deceased.
What? Who?
A Shin, as it was transcribed in Japanese script. In actual fact, Miss Asa Shin. And that was a familiar name to me. She was a professional killer well known among London's unsavory classes.
Oh, I see.
But she had completely vanished from existence several months before Wilson's murder. So I came to the logical conclusion that she had herself been killed. And accordingly, I became fearful for the lives of the remaining 2 persons on the list.
Ah! Hyasogin T. Gregson!
Owing to our proximity, I decided to take measures to protect Gregson myself. But I determined it would be safest if young Asogi were to stay away from Britain.
Ah, so that's what you were so slanted to prevent his study tour from going ahead.
Exactly.
So, you already knew who Kazuma-sama was, Mr. Sholmes? Oh, yes. Sholmes and I had exchanged correspondence for years.
Also, hi, Bulko. Yes, you're right. That's how it happened. Across 2 games. Also, hi, Izzy.
I recounted many tales about Asogi to him in my letters, and the news of Dr. Whistle's death, of course.
So, Dr. Wilson is dead then? Yeah. I didn't know.
Oh, shit, Iris.
I know he wasn't my daddy, but still, that's very sad.
Oh, I'm so sorry, Iris. We didn't certificate of the names, obviously, but we just couldn't bring ourselves to tell you.
No.
But what you just told us, Mr. Sholmes, doesn't completely tie with the facts. There's one big hole in your hypothesis. A big hole, Mr. Ohoda?
Yeah, I used the shovel to dig it. Mr. Naruhodo, that's a spade, not a shovel.
Ah, yes. You mean about Asashin, I presume. Oh, of course. Exactly. She wasn't killed, was she? She was in Japan, posing as a visiting student under the student name of Jezebel Brad.
I'm glad you're keeping up, my dear fellow. But I only became aware of that fact 2 days ago, in the foyer of the Great Waterloo Hotel.
Oh.
And upon hearing that startling revelation, the hypothesis that I'd formed surrounding those 4 names was completely turned topsy.
Nani? Topsy? Topsy?
You see, I used to know this man Topsy way back when. Oh wait, no. Hey, sounds fun. What's for breakfast?
Okay. Sorry.
I had believed all 4 names on the list to be names of victims. However, I was mistaken.
Very much so. Assassin was a skiller.
A skiller? What's that?
So this telegram is a list of both victims and killers, isn't it?
Indeed, and it would seem that Miss Shin was dispatched from Britain with the sole intention of dispatching Dr. Wilson. Her visiting student status being merely a front.
Ah! Which will of course explain why no motive will be determined for her actions. So the real reason Dr. Wilson was killed by assassin is because he was the target of an assassination.
And forearmed with that knowledge, fresh consideration of this telegram puts the list in a very different perspective.
What do you mean?
Well, does it not strike you there is another among the 4 who subsequently became a visiting student?
Wait, don't you mean
But of course, a name you know only too well.
You mean Kasuma? Oh! He did say in court earlier today.
Yes, on 31st October, I accompanied Inspector Gregson to Dunkirk in order to carry out a mission. And the mission was the assassination of the Mark. Young Mr. Asogi accepted that mission a year ago now.
Surely not.
In conclusion, this document is a contract of sorts. An international agreement, one might say, detailing an assassin exchange.
An assassin exchange? How could Kasama possibly have gotten into something like that?
You know, I don't know what they teach you in those Japanese schools of yours, but this is absolutely ridiculous. Let's assume that we have two parties, each wishing to dispose of a distinct individual. Those two parties then make a contract to swap their respective assassination targets. That would be an assassin exchange.
So to begin with, the British assassin is dispatched as a business student to Japan, where she kills her target. And then the Japanese assassin is dispatched as a business student to Britain to eliminate his target. It certainly does sound like an exchange. Gee, thanks for explaining it. But what on earth is the point? Don't forget, Mr. Naruhodo, that the British assassin at least escaped conviction. Thanks to diplomatic immunity afforded by consular jurisdiction. Oh, yes. Such jurisdiction should be null and void under the terms of the new treaty between our two countries. So the fact that it was brought into play suggests intervention at the highest levels. The highest levels.
These murders were two sides of the same coin, linked not by a common motive, but by contractual agreement. As such, they appeared utterly unrelated, yet in truth, the assassins were complicit in one singular devilish scheme. That disassociation and the safeguard of diplomatic immunity were, I believe, the motivation behind this plot.
But wait a minute, chums. If this telegram really is describing the exchange of assassins as you're suggesting, it will mean that the Japanese killer saga was never Seishiro Jijoku at all. It will mean Asogi's target was actually Inspector Gregson. What? Kasuma was here for Gregson? So Judge Jigoku wasn't actually the mark? Yes, that's exactly what it means.
I hold myself personally responsible for failing to keep the inspector safe.
Mr. Sholmes?
I told him of my fears and implored him to seek a transfer to an overseas position. Obviously, with the young pickpocket in tow.
Yes, Gina. Come to think of it, Inspector Gregson did mention that to us at the Great Exhibition. That he'd be transferred to Paris police and taking Gina with him.
But without informing me, he engaged in one last assignment, it seems. And sadly, it turned out to be his very last. Which is a shame, too, because he was going to work with a nice French police officer by the name of Clouseau.
This is too much to take in.
All right, everyone, that's quite enough of all that serious talk for one day.
Actually, that's a good point. Jijoku to Kasuma just before the buried in G11. And do not forget to fulfill the mission imposed upon you.
Mm-hmm. Subtle foreshadowing from the very beginning of the series.
Okay.
Isn't it, Hurley? I mean, look at the time.
Time to duel?
Nah, quite right, Iris. We must conclude our preparations for tomorrow.
What preparations? Well, I think I shall make my way back to my hotel room now. This has certainly been a night to remember.
It is a little bit sad, though. I mean, I like the idea of you being my daddy. Because then Susie would have been my big sister.
I'm sorry, Iris. Kind of like the idea myself. Oh. I know, Iris. I was thinking quite the same thing.
Were you?
But if someone like me will be worth it, I will be delighted to become your sister.
What? Really?
Oh yes, without question.
So, you'll teach me all the ways you know to throw Runo to the floor?
Yes! Yes, of course! It will be my pleasure! You didn't have to agree quite so readily.
Oh, but wait a minute. If Susie's going to be my big sister, you could be my big brother if you want, Runo.
Eh? I mean, yes, of course. If you'll have me, I'll gladly be your brother.
Well done, Iris. Must always be mindful of feelings. I raised you so well.
Because being sensitive is your strong suit naturally.
Okay, Runo, are you ready for me to throw you to the floor violently? If not, I'll shoot you. Right, I'm going to work extra hard for tomorrow now, because it's for my big brother and sister.
Let's talk about preparation for tomorrow. Preparing what?
Relax, this is going to be a special little plot device that'll help you later. You'll just have to wait and see.
Oh.
Good luck in court tomorrow. I'm expecting a sterling performance.
I'll do my very best, of course.
We're gonna pull a Deus Ex Machina out of our asses for you.
So the overnight break in the trials process became a crucial turning point. Exposing new truths whilst posing new conundrums. That list of 4 names on the telegram in Judge Jujuku's office, and the extraordinary assassination plot in which my best friend had somehow become involved. I felt as though I had been plunged into an even greater darkness all of a sudden. But at the same time, I felt sure it will see the light again soon.
After 40 years.
Because I was lucky enough to have the most wonderful family in the world standing steadfastly behind me. And this gown I found.
This gun I found? Yes!
To be continued right now.
Let's keep going, though.
Yeah, because we got time. But before that, hold on. Just give me a minute. Because... yeah, Nagel... Oops. Yes, save. Requested a moment ago, so let me take care of that right now.
What's going on? Oh, someone requested here.
There you go. Sorry it took
That
late,
was
but
nice.
yeah. Sorry about took long, but the cave was getting too good. But yes, let's get to resolve. Okay.
All right, let's continue with the trial. The trial to end all trials. And your life. Wait, what? Wow, no startup from the... Oh, God. Before we begin today, I have a brief announcement. As with the closed trial 10 years ago, some astonishing facts have come to light in these proceedings. The revelation that the well-known Reaper is actually an organization illegally executing its own brand of justice. And discovery of that a respected yard inspector was at its heart until he himself perished in an assassination plot. Words. Well, I say to all members of the judiciary here present at this occasion, that we will stop at nothing to uncover the whole truth behind these disturbing findings.
Oh no.
Counsels, you will undertake this trial with the resolve to pursue the truth to the bitter end.
Resolve. Yes. That's my intention.
My lord, if I may inquire. Shut up, accused. You are the accused. You are to sit there and wait for me to shout guilty, and then you'll be beheaded. That is your one job, accused. The defendant may speak. On what grounds is Kazuma Asogi permitted to continue in his role as prosecutor?
Oh.
He has admitted to colluding with the victim in a plot to assassinate an innocent man. He shouldn't be enjoying the privilege of freedom, let alone be leading the prosecution. I submitted a written petition to Lord Strongheart, requesting that judgment of my transgressions be delayed by 1 day. You did what? In today's proceedings, I intend to expose everything. My whole life for the last 10 years has all been leading up to this 1 day.
Kazuma.
Whatever the outcome of this trial, I give my word that I will accept whatever punishment is deemed appropriate, however severe. And I suggest you prepare yourself for the same, Reaper.
Kazuma is bristling with hostility today. I get the distinct impression we're heading into very dangerous territory. Is that really even Kazuma-sama standing before? Is that really even Kazuma-sama standing before us?
Did he realize the power of his stand? As an extreme exception to normal practices, I have granted this prosecutor's request. The defense finds this acceptable, I presume.
Yes, my lord. Ow.
In that case, in the name of Her Majesty the Queen, I hereby declare this court to be in session again. We resume the closed hearing of Belloc Van Zykes.
Hold on a moment.
What is the holdup, persecution? Narrator, you're to narrate the proceedings of this trial. That's your one job, narrator. I suggest that you do it. I'll hold you in contempt of this court. It's my big scene, after all, and you're ruining it!
Ay. The defense is ready, my lord.
It's about
sorry.
fucking time. The prosecution is more than ready. Very well, then. This preamble has taken long enough. Prosecutor Asogi, begin. And as you wish, my lord. The prosecution calls the first witness to the stand. Bring Seishiro Jigoku into the courtroom. Yay, I get to do more voices.
Alas, then we reach the final battle. He's putting literally everything on the line now in order to get to the truth.
And it's a very thin line, too.
Come on, Rinosuke. It's time for the steely resolve, because this is going to test it to the limit.
Witness, state your name and occupation for the court.
So it was you who issued this, was it?
Your subpoena? I did whatever was necessary.
Well, look at the young man has become, yes! I didn't think I'd see the day when you take that tone with me, I must say.
The witness will ensure his responses are pertinent to the questions asked.
Sorry.
Not again, narrator. This is the second time I've had to berate you about this. Do your job. I'll have you demoted to sweeping up the refuse of the bugs found. And I swing that kind of lumber, you know. I'm enjoying this too much. So how y'all doing tonight? Also, hi Barky, I see you lurking there. You can't hide from me. What else can I play with around here?
My name is Seishiro Jigoku, a Supreme Court judge from the Empire of Japan.
Juarisi said, breakfast is toasted sourdough with apple and cinnamon preserved sausage and hard-boiled eggs. Sounds good.
Half-boiled, yeah. That sounds pretty good. 16 years ago, this man came to London as a visiting student. 6 years later, he returned to Japan. As well as presiding over the Supreme Court, he is also currently Japan's Minister of Foreign Affairs. I am, of course, fully aware of Mr. Jigoku and his preeminent roles. I invited him personally to the International Forensic Science Symposium as a representative of his country. I hear he also played a key role in the conclusion of the Anglo-Japanese Treaty of Friendship and Navigation.
Navigation?
It was a great honor to be involved in the negotiations. I put my all into that treaty.
Yoshikaku, I must ask.
Well, I never. Fancy the young murdering student turning up here of all places.
You acquitted me yourself. Anyway, and now I'm practicing defense lawyer.
Yes, and full of self-importance like your friend across the courtroom, I see.
You came here to London by invitation of the International Forensic Science Symposium. But then, without informing anyone of your plans, you took flight to France. Mr. Jorge took a ball. You know what I said! What I meant.
Took flight? I have to object to that turn of phrase.
Then explain yourself. What exactly were the circumstances?
Well, I was somewhat expecting this, and I'm sorry to say, I decline to comment.
Oh, he's doing that. What?
Leaving the country prematurely when I was an invited guest may be questionable etiquette. But my decision is unrelated to this case. I can't be bound to testify.
Unrelated, you say?
I appreciate that a respected police inspector has been killed, for which I offer my condolences. However, being an alien, I had obviously never met the man, nor do I know the first thing about him. As such, I am in no position to testify. It's as simple as that.
So you will run from all of this?
I beg your pardon?
This case is more far-reaching than the murder of Inspector Gretchen. It has ties to another murder, a case that was tried in Japan almost a year ago now.
A year ago in Japan? The murder of Dr. John H. Wilson, you mean?
That's right. And you, Judge Jigoku, are the heart of both cases. The defense has evidence to prove it.
Well, Ryunosuke, I see from that look in your eyes that you are resolved to carry this through to the very end, too. Let's see your evidence, then. What proof do you have that Seishiro Jigoku is involved in this case? The crown? Right?
No.
Because he was...
Oh.
Because, remember, the crown was part of Gregson's pocket watch. Jigoku is claiming that he has never met or even seen the man.
Yes, it is a crown, yes. It's too early for the telegram.
Yep.
Take that.
What on earth is that?
This piece of evidence is a welcome present to the courthouse with the compliments of the defense.
You have a poor grasp of British Court Etiquette Council. That's the extent of your resolve. You disappoint me, Ryunosuke Naruhodo.
Ah! Okay, it was a telegram.
Okay, so what was that?
Stand tall, Mr. Ho. That was a minor blow. Having your best friend tell you he's disappointed in you really stinks, though. But of course, we have evidence that ties Judge Jigoku to this case. Yeah, it's a telegram. Evidence show a few names, even.
Alright, so yeah, it is. Good. There's still plenty of fight in your eyes. Let's see your evidence, then.
It was a telegram. Okay.
Okay.
Take that. This is a telegram detailing a communication sent between Britain and Japan approximately 1 year ago. The communication contained 4 names: K. Asogi, A. Shin, T. Gretchen, and J. Wilson.
Hold it! You little...
Oh.
Where did you get that?
Okay, I can see how he broke it. In Tokyo, from your office, Judge Jigoku.
What? How on earth did you?
What's all this about? Why is my name on that list?
This list of 4 names follow a certain pattern. T. Gregson and J. Wilson are the names of victims. K. Asogi and A. Shin are the name of assassins.
No.
A year ago in Tokyo, Dr. John H. Wilson's life was taken away in a Western-style restaurant in the capital. The culprit was found to be a business student who went by the name of Giselle Brett. But her real name was Assassin, a professional killer sent on a mission to kill from Great Britain.
That's a very Japanese-sounding name for a British assassin.
A. Sheen and her victim J. Wilson. And the murder that just took place here in London was the counterpart to that crime. An assassin sent from Japan also visited a student, Kazuma Asogi, whose victim was the British police inspector Tobias Gregson. K. Asogi and T. Gregson. Yes, thank you for pointing the obvious. One assassin from each country to kill target residing in the other.
What exactly is the defense suggesting?
These two cases of murder, one that took place in Britain and one in Japan, were masterminded out a pair of individuals from each country as a formal assassin exchange. And the telegram the defense has acquired is proof of this international contract to kill.
What?
Okay, so Jijoku and someone else. The telegram was found in your office, Judge Jijoku. In other words, the mastermind in Japan was you!
Stroking beard aggressively. Judge Jigoku, what's all this about?
And you, Kazuma, you lied. During yesterday's proceedings, you acknowledged that you had set the assassination mission. But the mark wasn't Judge Jigoku at all. It was T. Gregson, Detective Inspector of Scotland Yard.
It was actually the ad break that we're about to have.
As shown by the name of the killing contract. And we'll be back soon.
Oh boy, this is getting good.
Oh yeah. Okay, I'll be
Very impressive, Ryunosuke. But actually, I didn't lie.
Eh?
The name of the target I was ordered to kill never passed my lips yesterday. The idea that Seishiro Jigoku was the mark came entirely from you.
Oh, you're playing that game. Ah! You son of a bitch. You didn't really avoid saying a name?
It's called a half-truth, Ryunosuke. The defense claims these four names indicate some sort of international assassin exchange. And I'm sure I speak for all present when I say that the very idea seems utterly absurd. Well, Mr. Jigoku, what do you have to say for yourself?
His silence only goes to prove his guilt. There's another very important point that this new development brings to light. There's now a distant possibility that the scene of Inspector Crescent's actual murder was in the witness cabin aboard the SS Grouse. Josh Jigoku, you have to testify now. To refuse will be put you in contempt of court.
That's my call to make, not yours.
There's no need for quite such a vicious stare, young man. Very well then. As a parting gift to you all, I'll tell you everything I know.
It seems this Japanese gentleman has information that the court must hear about the alleged assassin exchange and the events of the night on 31st of October. Present your formal testimony now.
As you wish, my lord. It's true that Kazuma Asogi was assigned the assassination mission 1 year ago now. The target was Inspector T. Gregson. That was a condition of the British study tour. However, in the end, something happened that meant the young man was unable to carry out his mission. On the evening in question, a member of the crew was on duty outside my cabin at all times. If there had been a shot fired, the crewman would have heard it, so clearly I can't be involved.
Oh, we did find a bullet hole.
Yeah. So you admit then, as this communication suggests, there really was an assassin exchange arrangement between Britain and Japan.
A political endeavor at the highest levels. Not something I can discuss here.
To use such a warfare practice as for a student to coerce someone to commit murder. It's the most appalling thing I've ever heard.
Appalling? Well, it's easy to judge.
Pardon?
Asogi had a reason for taking his sword to that British inspector, you know.
Oh no, he's going there. Nani?
Which is why he accepted the mission in the first place. Isn't that right, Counsel?
God damn it, he's going for the revenge angle. Kasuma-sama? Josh Shijoku, you are the mastermind behind this Operation Japan. Then tell the court the identity of the counterpart in Britain.
I am not obliged to divulge that information.
Ugh.
As I said yesterday, I've killed nobody. I freely admit that I accepted the mission, but on the night the plan was to be executed, I backed out. In short, this assassination exchange the defense has identified is unrelated to the events of this case.
The crucial point is this. Your police inspector can't have perished aboard that steamship in Dunkirk. Because if he'd been shot in the cabin, it's inconceivable that a member of the crew wouldn't have heard it.
That's right. Gregson was killed after returning to London, in the room on Fresno Street. And the perpetrator of the crime was the Reaper, Barak Van Zykes. The prosecution's accusation remains unchanged. To think that a seemingly innocent foreign exchange program was a facade of such Machiavellian dealings. And clearly it's a plot only a government minister and high-ranking judge such as the witness could hope to execute.
Well, I seem to recall that it was someone on the British side who controlled everything.
Ooh.
Be that as it may, it is not the place for this court to pursue this villainous assassin exchange plot. We are concerned only with the tangible events pertaining to the murder of Inspector Gregson. Is the defense clear on that point, counsel?
Yes, my lord. I'll keep that in mind as I cross-examine the witness.
It's true that Kazuma Asogi was assigned the assassination mission 1 year ago now.
Hold it. A year ago, when Kazuma was still in Japan then.
Correct. It was at the examination center for applicants for the study tour that I approached him.
I'll never forget it. I remember exactly what you said. You just came out and asked me forthright if I'd consider traveling to Britain on an assassination mission.
Surely not.
I thought it was a joke at first, of course, but then it was made clear to me that if I didn't accept, I wouldn't be considered for the study tour.
Ow! So you agreed? You agreed to it just for that? I mean, I know how much you wanted to study in England, but assassination?
The Empire of Japan has accepted a proposal from the British Empire at the time. An agreement to send a student from each country to the others to deepen cultural understanding and friendship. But behind the scenes, the chosen students were to be given assassination missions. I had no choice but to accept the proposal that originated from my British counterpart.
Why? Why didn't you suppose the plot there and then?
Britain acknowledges no part in these alleged misbegotten dealings. And I advise you not to make spurious allegations, Foreign Minister Jigoku.
And as a witness, I am bound to tell the truth, my lord. Anyway, I picked Asogi and explained the details of the plan to him. The target was Inspector T. Gregson. That was the condition of the British study tour.
Hold it. Why Kazuma? Why did you pick him as that person?
He was the most capable of all the applicants, and in addition, I knew his desire to travel to Britain was very strong. In fact, it was almost more than a desire, as if it was his whole purpose in life.
Yes, as his best friend, I can certainly attest to that. The way he threw himself into his studies, the way he pursued becoming qualified as a lawyer, it was all ultimate for that one single goal of being accepted for a study tour to Britain. And of course, we know the reason behind that. He was determined to find out for himself the truth about his father, Genshin Asogi.
There's nothing I wouldn't have done to get here. Be that agreeing to assume the role of an assassin, or betraying people's trust.
Well, you certainly did a fine job of betraying mine, Sogi.
But why was Inspector Gresson the target?
I have no idea. Those were the orders from Britain. I was in no position to question them.
You have no idea? Really? I find that hard to believe.
Oh, do you?
Judge Jigoku was once a business student here in Britain himself, of course. Perhaps he has some connection with Inspector Gresson from that time.
The defense really ought to catch up.
With what?
With the fact that the assassination exchange has absolutely nothing to do with the case under scrutiny here. Yes, I've already admitted to recruiting a Sogi. However, in the end, something happened that meant the young man was unable to carry out his mission.
Hold it. I presume you're referring to the incident that occurred during Kazuma's passage to Britain in January. The awful tragedy that took place on the steamship.
Word arrived at the ministry some 2 weeks after the ship's departure from our shores. The visiting student had been killed, but his body had somehow gone missing in Hong Kong. The news was wired to me from a detective I'd placed on the ship to accompany the assassin.
Obviously, Kazuma didn't actually die at all, but he did lose his memory, including all details about his special mission.
Did you not consider dispatching another assassin at that point?
That wasn't possible, simply because that black-clad young student over there had already put himself forward as a Sogi's replacement. And there was no way to stop him from reaching Britain.
Sorry?
My hands were completely tied.
So Mr. Shun's strategy worked perfectly! He predicted everything that would happen.
Months later, my memory returned. But I'd never intended to go through with the assassination mission anyway.
So you were playing me right from the outset, were you? Is that it?
I'd sooner be guilty of that crime than taking someone else's life. I was prepared to do whatever I had to in order to get myself here to Britain. This line of questioning has gone on long enough.
Ugh.
Now, all the court should be concerned about in the testimony given by this witness are details relating to the relationship with Inspector Gregson, the victim's murderer. In that case, as I've already made perfectly clear, I had no connection to the man or his death. And you have some means of substantiating this plea.
On the evening in question, a member of the crew was on duty outside my cabin at all times.
Just out of curiosity, do we have... No. Unless... Is this? No. Anyway. Hold it. Outside your cabin is in the first class area of the SS Grouse, you mean?
Yes, that's right. Not least because there was a murder of a student passenger earlier in the year, I imagine. Liner operators have taken to posting a crewman outside every first-class cabin door.
I can confirm the presence of the crewman guard myself.
What do you mean?
Because I accompanied Inspector Gregson to Dunkirk that night. I witnessed it with my own eyes. There was a well-built crewman standing guard directly in front of the door to the witness's cabin.
And at that particular time, of course, I had gone to the ship's dining room for dinner.
The inspector and I asked the crewman to allow us into the cabin while we waited for Judge Jigoku's return.
I suppose Inspector Gregson was there in his capacity as the Reaper. He was intended to take the witness life.
Exactly. As I've said numerous times now, I had no intention of killing anyone.
So the crewman led 2 potential assassins into the cabin he was supposed to be guarding. Not the most convincing of sentries, really. Sentry are here!
In truth, those were my thoughts too. But anyway, I stayed to talk with Inspector Gregson for a short while. And then I left him there and made my way off the ship alone.
Was the guard still at the door when you went?
Yes. He glared at me as I walked past.
You see? That proves it. If there'd been a shot fired, the crewman would have heard it, so clearly I can't be involved.
Wait, who said anything about a shot in this line of questioning? Hold on. Oh, right. Following the departure of all the dark, all crew members required to assemble the main deck at 10 p.m. Could this be it?
I don't know.
Let me see first.
Did he even mention what the time was at this time? Are we gonna press it first just to make sure that there's nothing hidden?
Let's press it first. Hold it. The crewman who was standing directly outside your cabin door, you mean?
That's right. A muscular man with a permanent grim expression on his face. He didn't once move from that spot. And to be honest, I thought he was a miserable fellow. But as it happens, he's a vital witness now.
There's no doubt that Gregson was killed by a gunshot. And it's inconceivable that a crewman standing just outside the cabin door wouldn't have heard that.
But wait, what about the ship's enormous steam engines? The noise of them could have drowned the sound of the gun being fired.
Sadly, young judicial assistant, that won't wash.
Oh!
You'll recall that my cabin was in the first-class area of the ship, which is also, of course, the quietest. Don't imagine for a moment that's anything like steerage, where the judicial assistants go.
I didn't mean... But a hole like that made by a phone in your cabin, just Jigoku. That's compelling evidence that a gun was fired in there.
What's that? A bullet hole?
No, yes, you're talking about what detective uncovered in the wall yesterday, I presume. That was obviously a rotten panel eaten about by woodworm. No doubt he didn't find an actual bullet.
Are you kidding me? That's the whole in this argument.
And sadly, I was unable to arrange for the crewman to be brought back to Britain with me. But obviously, if a gun had been fired in my cabin on the night in question, as the defense implies, I would have been arrested on the spot and never would have made it to Britain in the first place.
Very true. The witness's logic is sound. Since no gunshot was heard from the witness's cabin on the night in question, we must assume that the witness is telling the truth.
Oh wait, so that was the reason that the tubo was muffled too.
Yes.
I'm glad you've seen sense, my lord.
I know Kazuma's already admitted to taking his incredible assassination plot, but even so, hearing it confirmed by someone else is still a real shock. It's unforgivable. Using Kazuma's feeling to manipulate him to agree to such a despicable plan. But I think Kazuma's manipulated Jigoku too. He completely double-crossed him. Oh dear. It's hard not to see that as a stroke of brilliance on Kazuma's part. One way or another though, Gregson ended up dead. I really think that the murder must have happened aboard the steamship. So, you mean Yoshiyuki must be lying? I know I shouldn't let my emotions cloud my judgment. But you must destroy him, Mr. Ohodo!
Damn! Alright, so where do we think the contradiction lies? Statement 5?
Okay, there should have been... Let's see. Small machine that found goes to the sun's necklace. Missing crown is Inspector Grayson pocket watch. Notice about practice evacuation to be carried out by the SS group the night before the ship arrived in Dover.
I keep getting drawn to the crown because that proves that Gregson was in the cabin with him. And he's saying that he's not involved, but if Gregson's crown for his pocket watch was in his cabin, that means he's involved. I still think it's statement 5, because he's claiming he's not involved.
Okay, so let's try that. I saved already. Let me save it again.
Alright.
Okay. Oh shit.
You pressed it! No!
Wrong one. Shit. Sorry.
Oh no, why would you do that? Such an amateur's mistake.
Come on, go.
We have to go through all this too.
Okay, let's try pressing the crown.
5.
The crown. No.
Nope. Not one that any British court would recognize, Counsel.
What?
Remember, this is a closed court. Whatever fate befalls you in here, no one outside will ever know.
Should we wonder if I make it out of this squadron alive? If there had been a shot fired, the crewman would have heard it. So the point is to prove that... Hold on. There's a gas there, but at the same time there's blood here. No. Look at the star stain here, do you think? Yes, I'm afraid so. I think it's blood. Oh, I knew you were going to say that. So that presumably means that this was present at the scene when Inspector Grayson was killed. It's the most logical conclusion, yes. To think Gina's been carrying this around with her. Didn't...
Wait a minute. What did he say on statement 4?
On the evening question, a member of the crew was on duty. Oh, wait!
That's where the itinerary comes in.
Yes. Yeah, it was that. Objection! Yes, as the court has heard, it was a crewman posted outside Yoshiyuki's cabin. However, we can be sure that, contrary to the witness's claim, the guard wasn't there at all times.
What?
I have here notice of a particular event that was scheduled to take place aboard the steamship on the 31st.
What? Where did you get that?
It's evidence gathered by Mr. Sherlock Holmes and Mikotowa. You were acquainted yesterday, if you remember.
Sherlock Holmes again.
According to this itinerary, after leaving the port of Dunkirk at exactly 10 p.m., and for a period of 20 minutes, all crewmen of the SS Grouse were together on deck for an evacuation drill.
All crewmen were away from their posts?
And during that 20-minute interval, of course, any gunshots emanating from your cabin would have been heard by no one. In summary, Josh Jigoku, you had ample opportunity to commit the crime.
Ugh. Objection! A 20-minute window of opportunity. That's an excellent find, Ryunosuke. Hi, Barky.
Hey.
But it amounts to nothing.
Hey, Barky. Why?
Because the witness clearly stated in his testimony that no incident occurred in his cabin. Unless you have some decisive evidence that can show us his testimony to be false. Your accusations is nothing more than conjecture. Very true. Well, counsel? A 20-minute window of opportunity means it wasn't Christmas.
Inspector Grayson was killed in Josh Jigoku's cabin that night. I'm certain of it. Because the defense has evidence to prove it.
You will present the evidence for the defense at once, counsel. What proof do you have that the victim's life was taken in Jigoku's cabin on the 31st of October?
Now we can present
Now we
it.
use the component, yeah.
Take that. Josh Jigoku, this was found in your cabin yesterday.
What is that? The crown of a pocket watch? A pocket watch?
I need you to all observe the victim's pocket watch, which we know he treasured. Is missing precisely that part.
It can't be.
Moreover, this crown is a perfect fit on the spindle protruding from the victim's watch. Now, the fact that this was retrieved from Josh Jigoku's cabin tells us that the victim's watch was almost certainly broke there.
It can't be, it's broken.
In other words, the victim was killed on the 31st during the 20-minute evacuation drill. In the cabin occupied by you, Josh Jigoku.
Well, you're razor sharp, aren't you, you young murderer? Objection! Expertly maneuvered, Ryunosuke.
Hmm?
And your argument sounds entirely plausible. At first. But rather like this pocket watch, it's full of cracks.
What?
And I believe Judge Jigoku feels the same way.
Oh no.
I was wrong to acquit you earlier in the year.
Sorry.
If I had known it would result in anyone having to listen to this drivel, I would have declared you guilty just to spare the world of your ridiculous bombast.
How dare you?
I think it's clear that the witness will have to give further testimony.
When you hear what actually happened in my cabin that night, you'll notice the pitfall into which you've stumbled.
Prior to your renewed testimony, I would like to clarify one point. The fact that this part of the victim's watch was discovered in your cabin means that you acknowledge he was there, I presume.
Yes, I do.
Very well, then. You may proceed to give your formal testimony about what exactly happened in your cabin aboard the ship on the evening of October 31st.
Of course. As a man of the law, I have no intention of obstructing justice, except for when I do. I had a guest waiting for me when I returned to my cabin after finishing my evening meal in the dining room. When I walked through the door, a mustachioed Englishman was there, foolishly waving a gun at me. I soon took care of him with an ippon throw, though. He couldn't wait to run away after that. And I imagine his watch was broken when I threw him over my shoulder. It has nothing to do with his murder. The inspector was clearly killed having returned to Britain because his body was found in London.
Yeah, well, the trunk says otherwise.
Ippon seoi, a common jiu-jitsu martial arts technique in my country. I was careful not to use too much force, but the man was obviously landed too heavily for his watch to take.
So, Ryunosuke Naruhodo, I imagine you can see the flaw in your logic now, can't you?
Nani?
The fact that the pocket watch was broken in the witness's cabin. In no way proves that the victim's murder took place there.
Ah!
I have no doubt the inspector intended to kill me. But he didn't manage to pull the trigger.
Yes, because he was merely the tactician, not the Reaper's hand of death. Well, the testimony appears to make perfect sense as far as I can tell.
Let me express my deep gratitude for your understanding, my lord.
But if the testimony holds, Judge Jigoku will be deemed to have no involvement in the case.
Well, counsel, I really see no reason for wasting precious court time here on a cross-examination.
Ow. Sorry, my lord. The defense has a right to cross-examine, and I don't intend to squander that.
You're an embarrassment to your countrymen, not knowing when you're beaten.
In that case, proceed, Mr. Naruhodo.
I had a guest waiting for me when I returned to my cabin after finishing my evening meal in the dining room.
Hold it. Because the so-called guard posted at your cabin door had just left your killer's past, you mean?
Apparently, Gregson told the crewman he was a police inspector, which was the truth, of course.
He wouldn't have had his identification with him, though.
He had his trench coat and a mustache, not to mention the bag of chips. I imagine the crewman was convinced.
But the man accompanying him will have two swords slung against his waist.
You mean me?
Who else?
Yes, that's true. You would have hoped the sight of a few swords might have set off alarm bells in the guard's head.
The point is, I left the cabin before its occupant returned, and I immediately disembarked the ship.
Certainly. All I can tell you is that only the inspector was waiting for me when I arrived back in my cabin.
And you entered without taking any inkling of suspicion.
That's right. None whatsoever. When I walked through the door, a mustachioed Englishman was there, foolishly waving a gun at me.
Hold it. Obviously, you're talking about Inspector Gregson.
Yes, though at the time I didn't know the man's name.
Okay, that's a lie already.
And there was no time for introductions. I value my life over manners.
By which you mean that the inspector was there to assassinate you, I suppose?
That was certainly the impression given by the gun pointing in my direction. But I've never seen the muzzle of a revolver shake about so much in all my life. Anyone would think the man had never shot somebody before.
Believe it or not, most of us haven't.
Anyway, there was no time to call for help for the crewmen at the door, so I dealt with the men myself. I soon took care of him with an ippon seoi throw, though. He couldn't wait to run away after that.
Hold it. Even though the man had a gun, that was a very brave move, wasn't it?
My ippon seoi is far faster than a bullet, I can assure you.
But surely other commotion caused by the crewman to commend, didn't it?
Yes, of course. He burst in immediately without knocking. The inspector hurled himself at the stocky fellow and just managed to slip past him to make his escape.
The outstanding guard does it again.
Luckily, there aren't many situations I can't get out of using a quick ippon seoi throw. I imagine his watch was broken when I threw him over my shoulder. It has nothing to do with his murder.
Hold it. The crown snapped off and the glass covering the face of the watch was cracked.
Preferable to the man's head getting pulled off or his spine cracking, wouldn't you say? Not that the man was spared for long. A bullet to the chest soon saw to that. But the point is, the broken pocket watch doesn't prove that a murder took place. Absolutely not. All the watch proves is the power of my jujitsu throw.
Whatever you say, it doesn't quite ring true that no shot was fired in the cabin. Because there was an obvious bullet hole in the wall.
What are you talking about? That's what the star of the lowbrow detective stories told you, is it? Well, I don't care for such fiction. Haven't you worked it out yet, you little stripling? No murder took place in my cabin. The inspector was clearly killed having returned to Britain because his body was found in London.
Should I press?
Press.
Hold it. Well, there's no evidence that proves the victim ever returned to London alive.
Just to take a moment to think that idea of yours through now, stripling.
Eh?
If the inspector was killed on the steamship in France, how on earth could he have gotten back to Britain? When people die, their bodies remain at the same spot. It's a devil of a thing. I should know. I've killed many people. Oh shit, got me again, Mr. Narusoto.
Well, then, obviously the culprit must have moved the body.
How exactly? Carrying a corpse off a ship in your arms would have raised a few eyebrows at least, don't you think?
Well, yes, that's true, but...
All passenger luggage is inspected when it is unloaded from arriving vessels. And I would like to think that the border police would query the corpse of an English gentleman as hand luggage. If the murder had taken place aboard the ship, you would imagine the body would have been disposed at sea. There would be no sense in risking being caught by attempting to transport the body back to Britain.
Ugh. Let's kill that idea then. Unless the person is a foreign dignitary, of course. But perhaps not, Mr. Sato. We heard that the first-class passengers were under constant scrutiny by the crewmen posted to guard them, which would mean that the culprit had no opportunity to spoil the body in the sea. Yes, that's true. So transporting the body to Britain may have been the only viable alternative.
Dear me, you really are new to this, aren't you?
Eh?
I thought I'd been perfectly clear, but it seems I'm going to have to explain it in words you can understand. I think I ought to alter my testimony with your consent, of course, my lord.
Ah, here we go.
And I have no objection. State your amended testimony now.
There's no possible way I could have transported the victim's corpse back to Britain.
Okay.
Wait a minute.
Where's that
A
picture?
photograph comes to mind.
Where's that picture? No.
Commemorative photograph, that's what you're looking for.
Right there. Yep.
He has a big-ass trunk that he can fit inside.
And he can self-prove it, so here we go. Objection. There's no possible way you could have moved Inspector Gresson's bodies, you say. I will say the opposite is true.
And what's that supposed to mean?
Far from being impossible for you to do. The transporting of Inspector Gresson's body back to Britain is only something only you can do.
What are you talking about, Ryunosuke?
As well as being a judge, Mr. Jigoku is also Japan's Minister of Foreign Affairs. Which means he's exempt for having his luggage searched when he enters the country. We learned that when we first met you upon our arrival in London.
Ugh.
Well, those passport checks and luggage searches at the border took rather a lot of time. I must say, I'm very envious of your ministerial status. You didn't have to go through any of that, did you?
Ah, I knew you were jealous.
I presume you recall this, Judge Jigoku. It's a photograph we took in the foyer of the hotel to mark the occasion. As the court will know, you have with you your very large travel trunk. Large enough, in fact, to have a corpse inside. Mr. Hodel, surely not suggesting... And a friend I am, yes. 3 days ago, when we were chatting innocently with the new arrivals of Japan in the hotel, the body of Inspector Gresson was just meters away from us, inside Judge Jigoku's trunk.
Ugh. No wonder his luggage starts stinking. Order! Order! Order in court! I'm skeptical, counsel, that a grown man's body could fit inside even the largest travel trunk.
It could. Because it happened to know that the witness himself, a man of considerable size, fits inside his trunk. And verifying that would be extremely simple, wouldn't it be, Judge Jigoku? But inside his trunk? How horrifying! And after we spoken with you at the Great Waterloo Hotel, you had the opportunity to visit the apparent scene on Freshness Street, taking your trunk with you in your cab to deposit the inspector's body.
I don't have to listen to this nonsense.
Dr. Gory, the coroner who examined the body, has confirmed the possibility. She acknowledged there are signs that steps may have taken to disguise the true time of death. The onset of the body decomposition could have been delayed by storing in a refrigerator.
Counsel, as I remember explaining yesterday, refrigerators of the requisite size are few and far between.
Yes, and sure they are, but one place they're certainly found is on large ocean liners.
Ugh.
Such ships are equipped with electrical refrigerator cold rooms to keep fruit fresh for their long sea voyages. And the SS Grouse is no exception. Professor Mikotowa told me about it only yesterday. Well, Judge Jigoku? However much you prolong this debate, you can't eliminate the truth. All the evidence points to you being the killer.
Well, this is all very heartening.
Yeah.
I can see that it was a wise move letting Asogi and you embark on this study tour.
What are you talking about now?
Logical reasoning, of course. All court proceedings will be built on logical reasoning in the new century. And I can see that you've both laid firm foundations for that already.
Just Jigoku, please start the presentation from the other hand. The thing has made an accusation against you. How do you respond?
Respond? There's really no need for me to respond, is there?
Why ever not?
Because before you can even begin to answer the question of when the victim was killed, you must first establish one key fact. Where was the victim killed? It's quite logical.
The actual scene of the crime.
The prosecution's stance is unaltered. The killing took place on Fresno Street where the gunshot was heard.
As the accused, Barak van Zyk shot the victim at point-blank range.
Since no tangible evidence exists to disprove the prosecution's claim at this time, the defense's deductions amount to little more than an elaborate fairy tale.
And I'm afraid that's how the logical reasoning the British are known for really works, young stripling.
The victim was shot in that little room of First Relative and died instantly. I'm afraid it's the prosecution's claim that's the only fairy tale here.
How can you say that?
Quite simply. Because that claim directly contradicts a certain piece of evidence in our possession.
Very tantalizing, counsel. I think you had better explain yourself to the court, don't you?
The prosecution claims that Inspector Grayson died instantly when he was shot at the scene of Fresno Street. But this evidence claim contradicts that claim. Give me a moment.
Photograph of the victim? Because isn't he like tightly curled up in that photo? Let's look at the photo of the victim.
Yeah.
He looks like he would fit in the trunk, wouldn't he? Curled up like that?
Yeah.
We could try that.
Okay. It is.
A photograph of the victim in the very location you claim he was killed. Hi, everyone.
Hey, welcome everyone. How's it going? I remember you're playing Symphony of the Night. Let me give you a shout out anyway.
At last the roof goes on, and nothing can go wrong. Oh no, it all went wrong.
Oh, thank you, Numar. I appreciate it. So, BFG streams. There you go. Yep, Symphony of the Night. Okay, let's continue. If Inspector Grayson has been shot there in that room, it's out of the question that his body would have been curled up in a ball like that.
Objection! Objection! And I'm sorry to disappoint you, but your logic is flawed. He could easily have adopted that fetal position due to the pain from the shot, which subsequently proved fatal.
Objection! I'm sorry to disappoint you, Josh Jujoku, but it's your logic that is flawed.
What?
According to this autopsy report, the victim died instantly. He would have felt no pain, much less have been able to draw himself into that position. That's the first face that he's doing.
All right.
Which begs the question of why the bitten body is curled up in that way. Though the answer should be abundantly clear by now.
You're suggesting
The inspector's body took on that posture ahead of its arrival on Fresher Street. Because before it was coldly turned out on the floor from the inside of a large travel trunk.
no.
Because Adman threw him. Oh, come on now. Come on, Alpha. You're quite right. The shape of the body. It looks exactly like having kept in a confined space. Josh Shijoku, present your trunk for examination. I believe it's very possible to contain traces from the victim's blood.
Present my trunk? I refuse. What?
On what grounds?
I am the Minister of Foreign Affairs from the Empire of Japan. I shouldn't have to put up with this treatment just because of some stripling's baseless accusations.
Are you declaring diplomatic immunity, you son of a bitch? In other words, Yoshiyoku, there is blood in your trunk.
I decline to answer that. As the Minister of Foreign Affairs, I have privileges that...
Objection. At this moment, you're not a government minister. You're a witness in a trial in Britain's highest court.
Ugh.
I don't care who you are or what your status outside this courtroom might be. You will not withhold information. Nothing is more important than the truth.
Something tells me this breakdown's gonna destroy my voice.
Yeah.
Order! Order in the court! Well, Mr. Jigoku, what's it to be?
Present the critical evidence.
You can't be serious. You did it? Have you no shame at all, Kazuma Sogi? What? Very well. I admit it. I did bring the inspector's body into the country. Inside my trunk, exactly as postulated by the defense.
Eh?
You, dear God, outrageous!
So it was you.
No! I admit to nothing more than what I've said.
Eh?
Of killing the man, I certainly have no recollection. What on earth is that cryptic statement supposed to mean? I merely disposed of the inspector's body, which was left in my cabin, in order to avoid unwanted attention. As the judicial assistant over there pointed out, I had no chance to throw it into the ocean. So, I decided my only option was to bring it to Britain with me and dispose of it somewhere else.
You can still deny it. If you didn't do it, then who on earth did kill the man?
As you know, there was one other person in my cabin that night. He had the opportunity.
Oh, you son of a bitch.
And moreover, he had already accepted a mission to take the inspector's life.
Oh.
That's right! Who else could it have been? It was you, Kazuma Sogi! You... I never thought you'd stoop to this, Seishiro Jigoku. You've taken the words straight out of my mouth. Prosecutor Kasuma Sogi. You thought by leaving the body in my cabin you could pin the crime on me, did you?
Well, the prosecution counsel has already admitted to visiting the witness's
my God,
cabin
thank you,
on the
CP.
night in question.
I appreciate it.
Hey, cool.
Thank you very much for the $10. Anyway.
Yes, on an assassination mission, no less. You wouldn't. So, what do you make of that, young stripling? You've heard my testimony now, and that's all I have to say on the matter. I'll admit to nothing more.
I don't believe this.
Counsel for the defense. What is your position now? The court awaits your response to the witness's assertion. The assertion that on the night in question, the victim's assailant was in fact Mr. Kazuma Sogi.
This isn't the dead end it seems to be. The answer is right in front of me. But before I reveal it, we'll have to go into a commercial break.
Yay!
Okay, we'll be right back after the commercial, the ads.
Okay.
Don't let your kids watch it. Before you know it, they're going to be eating sports candy and moving and running and jumping and dancing and being healthy.
But yeah, we'll be back.
Okay.
Okay, let me go. Okay. It comes down to Jijoku or Kasuma. Both of them had the opportunity to kill Gregson, but only one of them did it. And I'm just a step away from proving who. Very well. The defense is ready to respond to the assertion put forward by Judge Jijoku. The idea that the victim's murder could have been committed by Prosecutor Asogi is...
It's impossible.
Alright, the trunk.
That and the steamship had already left, right?
Yes. Josh Shigoku, let me remind you that something you said only a few minutes ago. Hey, I'm being seasoned. Yay, someone finally gets it. Thank you, CP. You claim that logical reasoning is the future of the judicial procedure.
It is, no question.
Well, logical reasoning can prove something here. Namely, that it will have been impossible for Prosecutor Asogi to commit the crime.
What?
The court will only accept an argument that is supported by compelling evidence. So, present what you have, counsel. What proof is there that allegedly demonstrates the impossibility of Prosecutor Asogi's involvement? What was the itinerary again? What does it say?
Okay, let's review it. Following departure from the door kick, all crew members are required to assemble the break deck at 10 p.m. in order to review evacuation procedures.
So remember, that 20-minute window, that's when Gregson attacked Jigoku after Kasuma has already left.
Yes.
So meaning he was not even on board during that time, so this might be the evidence.
Yeah, following departure from the port of Dorkin. So,
Yep.
Dunkirk, I mean. He wasn't a...
Dorkin, jeez.
Dunkirk. Okay, fine. Take that. This itinerary for crew members of the SS Grouse, my lord. This is conclusive proof.
An itinerary? How does that prove anything?
Josh Jijoku, the moment you acknowledge that you found the victim's body in your cabin, this itinerary suddenly became much more significant.
What? Why?
On the night in question, as always, a crewman sentry was on guard outside your cabin door. As long as he was there, nobody could have fired a shot inside the cabin.
Absolutely. Because it's inconceivable that the guard wouldn't have heard it and come to investigate.
So that tells us that the crime must have taken place when the guard was elsewhere. And that narrows it down to the 20 minutes just after 10 o'clock, as indicated on the itinerary.
Yes, I see no flaw in your reasoning so far.
But the crucial point is this. When the evacuation drill took place, the steamship had already put to sea from the port of Dunkirk.
Ah,
Now, clearly the number could have been committed by somebody who was aboard the vessel at the time. But Prosecutor Asogi stated in yesterday's proceedings.
I didn't come to Great Britain to take anyone's life. So I left Gregson and disembarked the ship. I spent that night at a boarding house in the town and returned to England the following morning.
Which I'm sure the court will agree is conclusive proof that Kasuma Asogi couldn't possibly carry out the killing.
Hey, remember when they said that he broke a lot of furniture when he outraged?
Hold it! No, absolutely not! I don't accept that at all!
So yeah, I think his breakdown is gonna involve destroy furniture.
Breaking a lot of furniture?
What do you mean?
The boy's just saying that to exonerate himself. We can't trust that he really disembarked the vessel. Obviously, after you left my cabin, he hid himself somewhere nearby on the ship. Just waiting for his chance to come back and finish the...
Objection! No, that's out of the question. Isn't it, Kazuma?
As the defense rightly recalls, I disembarked the vessel and spent the night in a boarding house in Dunkirk. And as I said yesterday, I signed my name in the accommodations register book. All extremely easy to verify and undeniable proof.
Oh, no,
There's no escape this time. You can forget that you're a judge. You can forget that you're a judge or a governor minister. It's time you gave the court an honest answer as a common man. Here comes. You killed Inspector Tobias Gretson and transported his corpse back to Britain. Then you dumped the body in the room of Fresno Street and made it look as if the murder had happened there. That's what really happened, isn't it? Seishiro Jigoku?
Was that damn trial 10 years ago? That's when all this began.
Uh-oh.
Looking back now, my fate was decided that day. I was doomed already.
Uh-oh. Oh! Oh!
It's over! My life is over!
Holy shit!
Okay, so it wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be.
A British assassin to eliminate the professor in Japan. A Japanese assassin to eliminate the detective in Britain. Both assassins will use diplomatic immunity to evade conviction and return safely to their homelands. The assassin exchange requested arrived from Britain about 1 year ago. Though it was hardly a request, it was a demand.
And for what you decide? And for that you decide to recruit Mr. Asogi. But things didn't go according to plan. Your chosen assassin never made it to Britain. And you find yourself unable to dispatch a replacement. Because I was already on my way to Britain at a time in Kazuma's place.
And that left me with only one option for carrying out my obligation. To eliminate the mark myself, personally. Of course, there was but a single opportunity for me to do that.
The International Forensic Science Symposium, I presume.
That's right. I decided it would be safest to carry out the plan before my arrival in Britain. So I enlisted the help of my British counterpart. And made arrangement for a pretext that would take the inspector to Dunkirk. To lure the man in, he was given a sham mission by the Reaper.
What? The Reaper?
But there's only one person that could have done that. The mastermind of the entire operation. The Reaper himself.
Ah. So, that means that the assassination was... It was all planned by the Reaper!
I'm not at liberty to say anything about my British counterpart. Anyway, the inspector accepted the Reaper's mission and dutifully infiltrated my cabin on the steamship. But it was all a trap designed to lead him to France and his own death.
Oh, how awful!
It was past 9 o'clock when I returned to my cabin from the dining hall that evening. I didn't give him time to attack me. I choked him until he lost consciousness. But there was a guard just outside the door, so I left it at that for the time being. Even the slightest noise may have aroused suspicion,
so I bided my time, waiting.
For the 20 minutes after 10 o'clock.
I had intended to finish him by strangulation, but moments before I had the chance, he suddenly came around and went for me in a reckless move. I had received a British-issue gun 16 years earlier, being a member of the judiciary as a visiting student. I never imagined I'd have to use it for something like that. So it's his gun.
Oh.
So the revolver belongs to you, does it?
Then the victim was killed inside your cabin on the SS Grouse. Which begs the question of why you arranged for this body to be discovered in the room of Fresno Street.
The young judicial assistant over there has already answered that question. There was no way I could take the body up on deck to throw it over the side. That's precisely where all the crewmen were gathered for the evacuation drill. So before the first-class cabin sentries returned, I took the corpse to the refrigeration room.
And then on arriving in Dover, you concealed the body in your trunk in order to smuggle it past the border police.
I knew I needed to take steps if the police were to be convinced when the body was found in London. In that case, you must have known. You must have had intimate details of Inspector Gregson's intended schedule. Yes, my British counterpart sent me everything I needed to know. The inspector was due at Fresno Street at 5 o'clock that afternoon, in order to meet a man by the name of Hugh Boone, from whom he would take back his police identification.
Oh!
I decided that man would be the perfect person to set up as the culprit. So I took the Hackney carriage over there with the body still in my trunk.
That must have been just after we took this photograph with you at the hotel then.
Yes, I wasn't expecting a welcoming committee. I was more than a little nervous. On Fresno Street, I spotted a young girl selling little firecrackers.
Miss Venus, of course.
I conceived of the candle trick there and then. So I donned a simple disguise and approached the girl to buy the firecrackers to replicate the gunshot. What sort of disguise? For some reason, the inspector had a bright red hairpiece in his own traveling case. So I put that on, although I suspect I drew more attention to myself than I would have otherwise.
The hairpin we found at the scene. The inspector had it ready for the red-headed leak investigation.
I only arrived at the room at around 4:45. So I quickly placed the body on the floor, moved the notice board, and set up my little candle trick. I arranged to let the firecrackers go off with a bang around 15 minutes later, so that Mr. Boone, who was due to arrive at 5, would walk straight into a trap. Except, at the last moment, I made a careless blunder.
What was that? I imagine it was a bag of fish and chips. Ugh!
I didn't notice that had fallen out of his overcoat pocket when I moved the body to the refrigeration room. I put it back in his pocket the following morning, but... well, it seems the warmth of the heated cabin had accelerated the decay of the fish. Anyway, that's everything. All the sordid details of what I did. Now I've heard enough. We've arrived at the truth about the murder of one of the country's most capable and respected police inspectors. The witness will be tried in the coming days. For a crime of such a vile nature, you can expect the most severe penalty.
Okay, there's no way they send like this. An exchange of assassins? What a foolhardy idea! Mr. Jijoku, one last detail. Who was your counterpart in Britain? Who was the mastermind behind the assassin exchange? Nothing you say now can make matters any worse for you. Just tell us!
Enough!
Uh-oh.
I've already told you.
That I cannot say. Even though, as things stand, you may very well never set foot in your homeland again.
What are you waiting for? Can't we get this over with now?
It's finished. All of it. I'm finished. Then, in the name of Her Majesty the Queen, I now pronounce the findings of this court. This man before us has admitted to the willful murder of Tobias Gregson.
How?
Seishiro Jigoku, it is the opinion of this court that you should be found guilty, and may I remind all those present of the strict confidentiality demanded by this closed court.
He can iron just like that.
Moments ago, Mr. Jigoku signed a written confession, admitting to the murder of Tobias Gregson and the subsequent conveyance of the body.
You turn off voice clips? Yeah, for the voice acting.
In short, defendant's innocence has therefore been established beyond doubt.
Oh, wonderful! Well done, Mr. Hodo.
Something doesn't feel right.
No, it doesn't. Thank you. Is something wrong? And just a little trouble. By his silence.
The true identity of the Reaper of the Bailey and this extraordinary assassin exchange. We do remain in the dark about these mysteries. However, insofar as the indictment brought against the defendant in this trial, we have reached a conclusion.
And I have every intention of pursuing both mysteries.
And as a prosecutor, as you wish. Now, for the formal adjudication. And I hereby declare the defendant, Barak van Zykes.
Objection!
Objection!
Oh, no, that's you.
The prosecution calls for the adjudication to be deferred. Counsel? The accused innocence hasn't been fully established at all. And therefore, it would be wrong to deliver a verdict at this time. That is the prosecution's unwavering position.
But Judge Jigoku has already confessed!
Nevertheless, Barak van Zykes has committed crimes for which he must be punished. Well, it would appear you have information that the court needs to hear, Prosecutor Asogi. Certainly, the murder of Inspector Gregson was actually carried out by Seishiro Jigoku. But it's clear from the witness's testimony that he was coerced into complying with the plot. into this sick, merciless assassin exchange.
That might be true, but...
So what I want to know is, who coerced Jigoku? Who was pulling the strings? The victim went to France having been ordered on a mission for the Reaper, only to be murdered. In other words, the mastermind behind the assassin exchange is someone in the position to give such an order.
Oh no.
As we've already established, the Reaper himself. Well, certainly, that would appear to follow. The prosecution hereby formally accuses the man in the dock, Barak Van Sykes, of being the Reaper of the Bailey, and furthermore, I'm going to prove his guilt beyond all reasonable doubt.
What?
Order! Order! The Reaper of the Bailey is a long-standing mystery, Council. Now, are you suggesting you have some new information with which to build a case?
Scotland Yard has already investigated Lord Van Sykes very truly in that regard. And they found no evidence whatsoever to substantiate the claim that he is the Reaper.
Perhaps, but circumstances have now changed.
What do you mean?
It's already been established that the assassin exchange was negotiated with Jigoku by the Reaper himself. Which means we now have a new line of questioning by which to identify definitively the man's identity. That is the prosecution's intention here. And I must say I'm surprised by quite how tenaciously you appear to want to besmirch my name. You are guilty of an unforgivable crime, Lord Van Sykes. And I will bring you to justice for it, whatever it takes.
That explains Kazuma's lies before. He'll stop at nothing to finish what Lord Van Sykes was unwilling started 10 years ago.
Very well, whilst it's extremely irregular. And I will, on this occasion, grant the prosecution further opportunity for witness testimony. The defendant will disclose any and all involvement he has had with the Reaper and the Assassin Exchange. I thank you, my lord, for guiding the court so wisely. I hereby declare this court to be in session for a supplementary hearing.
How is doing that?
It is the power of my stand.
Oh.
Pray turn a blind eye to the discourtesy as I verify that this vile and unremitting accusation hasn't soured the contents of my hallowed chalice.
Lord Van Sykes!
And I first had to suffer the pseudonym of the Reaper 10 years ago now. And ever since that time, I've endured the weight of implied guilt that's gone with it. So I welcome the chance to testify now and crush those allegations once and for all.
Oh.
Good. Then let justice decide, Lord Van Sykes. The prosecution seeks to begin building its case by calling the accused to the stand as the primary witness, in order that he may answer the accusation brought by the prosecution that he is the Reaper of the Bailey. And what says the defense?
Putting the defendant in the witness stand can be extremely dangerous. And Kazuma-sama is so emotional at the moment. He's not thinking logically. You're right that he's not himself. But I knew it would be like this. And I came here today determined to face him through whatever might arise. Besides, Iris and Schultz need to do their Oh my god.
Hi, Teddy.
Hi, thank you, Teddy. Yes, I heard the objection. Anyway. And I came here to determine the fake through whatever with my case. And also, Sholmes and Iris need to do their ex machina anyway. As a lawyer and his friend. Then that's what we must do. The defendant has no objection, my lord.
Very well. Defendant, you will now take the witness stand and give formal testimony on the subject of your involvement with the Reaper and the Assassin Exchange.
Hi, Teddy.
As you wish, my lord. And I've never taken the life of another, nor have I instructed another to kill. And I've been investigating the truth on the Reaper for years, and I was aware of Gregson's involvement. And that's the reason why I went to Fresno Street that day, and how I came to discover the body. The point is, no common thread exists between myself, Gregson, and Dr. Wilson.
We know that's bullshit.
And clearly, therefore, there's no reason to suspect me of being behind the Assassin Exchange. So, you deny all accusations by the prosecution. Both that you are the Reaper of the Bailey and that you masterminded the Assassin Exchange. And I acknowledge that the public at large believe me to be the Reaper. However, that's a fallacy, which I alone am in a position to forswear. Naturally, the prosecution believes the testimony just given by the accused to be untrue. Ryunosuke Naruhodo.
Yes.
Let me ask you, why are you here? What really brings you to this courtroom?
A desire to uncover the truth.
Even if the truth proves your client to be guilty?
From all my experience in this courtroom, I come to realize something. The truth can be hidden. Sooner or later, it will come out.
You know, I made a post about that on Blue Sky once, earlier this week.
Okay, CP, take care, and thank you very much for everything.
Bye!
So it's always my intention to work with my client in pursuit of the truth.
I want you to remember what you just said.
Oh no, don't tell me you're gonna buy me gas.
Introductory chapter. Counsel for the defense, proceed to cross-examine the witness.
Alright. Yes, my lord. I know exactly what you're thinking, Kazuma. I know that you're just wanting to point out, and you're just waiting to point it out. The contradiction you could convince lies somewhere within this man's testimony.
I've never taken the life of another, nor have I instructed another to kill.
Hold it.
I find the witness guilty.
Oh my god. So you're not what the general public refers to as the infamous Reaper of the Bailey.
Exactly. Don't imagine for a moment that the court will be satisfied with a one-word answer on this. And I realize that.
If you're intended to comment on every sentence this could take away, Kazuma. Didn't you find it disturbing, though, that one by one defendants who've been acquitted after your unsuccessful prosecution were killed?
Let me answer that question by posing another. If one by one defendants who'd been acquitted after your successful defense were killed, Would you find that disturbing?
Disturbing? I couldn't precisely say that would make me feel a one-word sentence like that.
Exactly.
Well, that told me.
But even though I'm not the Reaper, that doesn't mean I ignored all the hearsay. And I've been investigating the truth behind the Reaper for years, and I was aware of Gregson's involvement.
Hold it. You say for years. How long exactly?
Since the very first time the Reaper's influence was felt in this courtroom, 10 years ago.
And your investigation led you somehow to Inspector Gregson, you're saying?
I didn't want to believe it. He was a personal acquaintance. We'd worked on cases together in the past.
A friend, even.
I felt like a betrayal, but I demanded permission to search his office at the yard without his knowledge. Which is when you found his secret notebook, is it? It was when I first learned of the location he'd noted only as Gru's and the appointment at 5 p.m. on the 31st. Though I didn't know the significance of those details at the time.
So now we're at the nub of the matter.
As it turns out, the significance for me personally was very unfortunate. And that's the reason why I went to Fresno Street that day and how I came to discover the body.
Hold it. But why did you go to a specific location?
And I thought that if it were the Reaper's headquarters, then by turning up there at 5 o'clock, I would catch whoever was involved red-handed. Sadly, all that was awaiting me was the inspector's corpse.
Yes, even though it wasn't designed for you, you walked straight into the trap set by Jigoku.
Exactly. Jigoku had intended to implicate Hugh Boone. But unhappily for me, I arrived at the scene first. Ha! A ridiculously careless blunder.
Move on to your strange insults around, I see then, Kazuma.
Think what you will, it doesn't change the truth. The point is, no common thread exists between myself, Gregson, and Dr. Wilson.
I think there's one... No.
We need a specific report, don't you think?
Yes.
Not that one.
No.
Let's review. Who did this one again?
Dr. Wilson reviewed the
And credit to Gregson.
Yes.
So yes, this is the evidence.
Yes.
Mikatoba, Gregson, and Wilson.
Yep. Objection.
What is this? An autopsy report?
An updated one, even.
Wait, this is 10 years old. From the autopsy of Lord Clint Van Zykes? What? My brother's autopsy report? I'm pleased to see the defense doesn't intend to run from the undeniable truth. Order in the court. What reason do you have for presenting a 10-year-old autopsy report here, counsel?
The autopsy report of the professor's final victim, is an indelible link between Inspector Gregson, Dr. Wilson, and the defendant.
Not that accursed name again, the professor. And I've personally researched all of the court records relating to that case.
Here we go.
I know at the time that the autopsy was considered sacrilege to the victims' souls. And for a member of the aristocracy like Lord Clint Van Zykes, it was unthinkable. But someone implored the powers that be to allow the autopsy to go ahead, Inspector Gregson. He declared that it was certain he would obtain conclusive proof from the procedure.
And it was Dr. Wilson who conducted the autopsy.
Now we know why they both must have died.
His signature is clearly visible on the document.
As promised by Gregson, the autopsy did indeed produce evidence. Evidence that conclusively proved Genshin Asogi was guilty of the murders. In my brother's dying moments, he mustered all of his remaining strength to leave that vital clue behind. Indeed, that was the key to indicting the professor for his crimes and the conclusive evidence that convicted him. It enabled Lord Van Zykes here to avenge his brother's senseless death with a marvelous victory in court. A marvelous victory, was it? I wonder if that's really true. What? Could the same be said if it turned out that the key piece of evidence in question was in fact fabricated?
Oh no.
If the inspector, the coroner, and the prosecutor all colluded together to cast an innocent Japanese man as a mass murderer and send him to his death. That's outrageous! And now, 10 years later, for some reason the secret has been threatened and needs protecting. Which is why the inspector and the coroner had to be silenced, isn't it? By someone in power in Japan and in Britain, using the two killers recruited for the assassin exchange. Order! Order at once! 10 years ago, my father was convicted in this very courtroom as a mass murderer to be sentenced to death. But it was all a sham, and I swore to myself that I'd prove it. Which is why I had to come to Britain. Whatever the cost! You'll have to forgive me if I feel compelled to toast this vengeful Nipponese tenacity of purpose here. However, he who fails to quash his emotions in the courtroom has failed as a lawyer.
Uh-oh. Come on, Kazuma! You know this won't wash! You claim your father was a misrepresented in a trial that took place a whole decade ago. You must see that without evidence, that's nothing more than a wild accusation.
Besides, it's a grape stain. It's not going to wash out anyway. As it happens, I have evidence.
What?
As the court has heard, I crossed the channel to France with Gregson on the 31st. I went with him on the pretext of being the assassin recruited to kill Sisiro Jigoku. But my true intentions were to make the inspector tell me the truth. What truth? The truth about the evidence and the acknowledgement that I had already deduced. There's a closely guarded secret about what went on in the autopsy 10 years ago. What? A secret? I know nothing of any secret. While we waited for my supposed mark in Jigoku's cabin, I drew my clan's illustrious sword, Karuma, before the inspector's eyes. He very quickly understood what my true motive was.
Right, I see. You're that Asagi's young lad, are you? And what? You're gonna cut me down with a fin, is that it, eh?
That will very much depend on the answers you give to my questions. I want to know what really happened 10 years ago. The truth, that's all.
Before we get into it, let me make one thing clear. I still believe your father was the professor. There's no doubt in my mind. But unfortunately back then, we didn't have the evidence we needed to make the crime stick.
So, you admit it then? The evidence used in my father's trial was fabricated?
It was for the good of the country. Anyway, I will just follow orders.
The Nuremberg defense will not save you this time. Orders? What exactly did you do? Speak!
I'm not saying another word.
Even if your life depends on it?
That's right. Even then. Oh, that's when he attacked him.
No, that's when his blade got chipped in the trunk.
So that's when the tip of the sword broke. Oh, Kazuma-sama!
If the results of Clint Van Zyke's autopsy were fabricated, then the investigating officer Gregson and the lead coroner Wilson must have known about it. And they can only have been ordered to pervert the course of justice in that way by one man. The man leading the case for the prosecution, Barak Van Zykes. Wait a minute.
Yeah?
He was the only one. He wasn't the one. He stood in for the real prosecutor.
Yeah.
In other words, the defendant did have cause to organize the exchange of assassins.
Oh, that's right. Stronger was the initial prosecutor in that case.
Mm-hmm. Why do you think he's the judge in this case? Exactly. And as was established earlier, it has to have been the Reaper himself who liaised with Jigoku in Japan to arrange the exchange.
Ah!
So it follows that the Reaper's true identity can only be that of the man who stands accused in this courtroom today, Barak Van Zykes.
I suggest you turn on voice clips for a moment shortly.
We can when this is over.
I guess. Any particular reason, or is gonna be spoilers? Just
Yeah,
asking.
because we don't want spoilers. Objection! Kazuma Asogi. What? What you've just told the court. Are you absolutely certain of your facts?
Van Sykes already figured it out.
Did Gregson really fabricate evidence for that trial 10 years ago? I heard it with my own ears. His shameful admission. In that case, I know. Yeah, they also repaired that railing really quickly. In the name of the Reaper.
Oh, here we go.
What?
Lord Van Sykes?
I gave no such orders. I know that for certain. Which narrows down the remaining possibilities to one.
Here it comes. If Lord Van Sykes is the one behind all this, then yes, there's only one person who could have done something like that. I believe I know who it is too.
You?
I just had a feeling this name was going to come up. The true identity of the famous Reaper of the Bailey is...
Don't let your kids watch it. Before you know it, they're gonna be moving and running and jumping and dancing.
I'm sorry, but I can't help but do this kind of thing every time.
Ah.
At last, the roof goes on, and nothing can go wrong. Oh no, it all went wrong.
Oh yes. There's only one person who knew about this.
Yep.
Here we go. The only person who could have arranged the assassin's change and manipulated the autopsy results is the Lordship Justice himself. Lord Bale Strongheart.
What? Lord Strongheart?
Yes, it's true that 10 years ago, the defendant handled the prosecution of the professor in court. But he only took over the case after his brother, Lord Clink Van Sykes, has been killed.
I can only assume that this is the most inappropriate joke in British judicial history.
Well, Lord Van Sykes.
10 years ago, I was very new to my profession. But I had a burning desire to avenge my brother's death, so I pleaded for control of the case. The investigation to that point, the supplication of the lords to allow my brother's corpse to be examined. All the evidence I was given, the autopsy reports, it all came from you. I've spent my life since then believing I was in your debt for the way you stood aside and let me handle the trial. But I see now. And I was very much mistaken.
It was a hugely inflation force that caused the inspector and the coroner to break the law 10 years ago.
And influential, too.
Yep. And that same force was still felt a decade later on the other side of the world by Seishiro Jigoku. Lord Strongheart. Everything falls into place when they recognize that you are the Reaper of the Bailey.
The court awaits your response, my lord. This may very well go down in British judicial history, but I assure you, it is no joke. Consider this a formal accusal by the defense. It doesn't warrant a response. A formal accusal? Don't be absurd. The defense's claims are utter nonsense, a wild fantasy at best.
You're not going to defend yourself?
You claim there was some wrongdoing with Lord Clint Van Sykes' autopsy? That's utterly untrue. Objection! But I heard it from Gregson's own lips. He admitted to it. And where is your evidence? What? Gregson's dead now, unless you are thinking of summoning a ghost to the stand?
That will be later.
Give it a 100 years.
Yes. Oh, Madame Faye.
You mean to say... And I forget how the system works in your little backwater country. But in the courts of the British Empire, without evidence, there is no case.
Oh.
I have no intention of entertaining some wild fantasy that can't possibly be substantiated by anyone or anything. Order! Order in the court! Following Inspector Gregson's murder and in the light of Dr. Wilson's death as well, there's really no one left who could testify about the events of 10 years ago, is there? Hey, welcome back.
Hey, welcome back.
So that was the real purpose of the assassin exchange.
Oh.
This court has no business raking over the coals of a case that was concluded a decade ago. The accusal brought by the prosecution and the defense is categorically denied. And I take it there are no objections?
Yasuna. He's more or less waited his whole life for this moment. Is there really nothing else we can do now? Is there no other avenue you can go with a pursuit of the truth about what happened all those years ago?
There is one other.
If only there was someone who could testify about Clint Van Syke's autopsy. Oh wait, shit!
No!
Fuck! Shit! Don't tell me I messed
All right,
up.
let's see where this goes. Let's see where this goes. You've committed.
Even so far, the special assassin all the way to Japan to ensure Dr. Wilson's silence. And Dr. Syke won't say anything against Dr. Strongheart.
Ryunosuke, please!
I'm sorry, Kazuma. Mr. Naruhodo. Isn't there someone rather important whom you'll overlook? Oh, thank you, Susato. You saved it. Thank you.
Your silence is beautifully eloquent. And I take it we've reached the end of this debate then. Let the matter be closed for good.
Objection! Actually, there is one person. One person who could still testify about that autopsy. Mikotoba?
Don't be ridiculous. There's no one left. Yeah, because as you remember, he was the one who penned the report. Wilson was just the one who signed on it.
Yes. Yeah. Thank you, Susato, for saving the situation. My fingers slip.
Who, Ryunosuke? Who? Tell me.
Kazuma, I.
Please, this trial can't end. Not yet.
I'm not doing this for you. I'm doing it for the truth. The person the defense would like to call to stand to testify about the autopsy of Lord Clint Van Syke is Junji Mikotoba.
Heaven help us. Another Japanese?
Abjure with your racism. An expert in forensic science, my lord. Professor Junji Mikotoba. 16 years ago. He came to London with Seishiro Jigoku and Genshi Asogi as a visiting student.
And what could his testimony possibly tell us?
Professor Mikotoba was the primary assistant during the autopsy in question. He was also the person who actually penned the report.
Incorrect. The autopsy was carried out by the coroner, Dr. Wilson. The report carries his signature.
It was the primary assistant's duty to keep a written record or the coroner's word during the procedure. In actual fact, the coroner merely read over the report at the end and signed it. And you know what? Elma freaked out, so let me say from this point forward to avoid some... Because that mistake almost freaked me out for a moment.
We're almost to a continue point.
In other words, Professor Mikotoba witnessed the entire autopsy from start to finish. The defense demands that Professor Mikotoba be summoned as a witness as a matter of urgency. Whatever really happened in that autopsy laboratory 10 years ago is something only he can tell us.
The defense's demand is denied.
What? Well, Professor Mikotoba is in London at this very moment. We could summon him to stand in minutes. No, of course he's not going to agree to it. Strong has no intention of summoning anyone who knows. He's too concerned about protecting himself.
Yeah.
Pause. Thank you.
Yeah, I got it. Don't you worry. Prosecutor Asogi, let me refresh your memory, as you seem to have forgotten the prosecution's stance. Only minutes ago, you accused the defendant of being the Reaper and of masterminding the assassin exchange. I did, yes. So, present your evidence for those claims and make your case complete. At this time, I don't have the requisite evidence, but that's exactly why we need this witness testimony. Am I going to have to choke a bitch later? The Professor case is closed. There are no clues in the distant past that will bolster your argument today. I'm afraid to say, Prosecutor Asogi, that you would appear to be possessed by the spirit of your late homicidal father.
Son of a bitch.
Now, as I stated earlier, this court has already reached a conclusion with respect to the matter at hand. Inspector Gregson was murdered by Japanese Supreme Court Judge Seshiro Jigoku. As for any hidden circumstances that may exist, they will all be investigated in due course by the proper authorities.
Objection! But we all know what will happen. They'll just give the master of the whole venture time to cover his tracks again.
By which you mean me?
Ugh.
Your punishment for this contemptible behavior will be decided at a later date. As for you, Prosecutor Asogi, you will be remanded following these proceedings, willingly, I trust, since you gave your word. This futile game of revenge is over, young Master Asogi.
Oh my god. I think that's why he wanted the voice acting.
That will be all. I hereby declare this trial to be over.
Hold it! Wait. Oh!
Hold it!
Mr. Sholmes!
This is no place for an amateur detection, Mr. Sholmes.
No, not for that, but turn it on now. Okay.
You better make it, my guy.
Okay. It better be worth it, because honestly.
May I remind you that these proceedings are closed to the general public? You will leave this courtroom at once.
Mr. Sholmes was instrumental in the apprehension of Seiichiro Jigoku before he fled from Europe. The court should hear what he has to say.
Lord Mayor Strongheart, it's imperative that you refrain from bringing this trial to an end at this stage. Is it really? And why would that be? You need only recall your own words from the opening of the trial to answer that question, if I may. We will stop at nothing to uncover the whole truth behind these disturbing findings. Surely it can't be that the shock of being accused of being the Reaper yourself has erased that from your memory, can it?
The whole truth, sir, has already been uncovered.
It would seem that we have a great many important members of the judiciary present here today.
Really?
I put it to you, my dear fellows. Should the trial end at this juncture? After all, why have you been invited to attend? To nod along to the provocations of your superiors?
Oh.
Order! Order in the court! It seems to me that we stand before a door that leads to a new era of legal practices. A door that is ajar. Let us emerge from the shadows of the Reaper's decades-long ascendancy. For you and you alone, my dear fellows, have the power to push the door open now. The auditors in the gallery have no rights to express an opinion on court proceedings. Silence!
It's right, the judge has all to do here.
Yes, it calls the trial to an end and must end.
But really, what do?
I sense the dark things occurring behind the scenes. Dark things indeed.
Is there a single person here that always say he has a sense of that? What?
The trial should go on. Summon the witnesses.
That's right, we need to clean up if other Japanese fellows remain in custody. Oh, look at him.
My lord, you assured those present that you would uncover the whole truth here.
Vindicate yourself from this slightest accusation.
The truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. That's the very foundation of British and American law. A toast to my dependable colleagues in the gallery.
Oh! Oh! Okay, that's actually good.
Alright, let's turn it off now. I don't want anything else spoiled.
That's the 5. That's the... Yeah, it was that.
Anyway, enough of that, thank God. Well, my lord, you heard the voice of British justice, I take it? I think you'll find it to be rather awkward to silence. The court will recess briefly. I get the jungle gym. I have no intention of shirking from these allegations. Bailiff, arrange for the subpoena of the witness at once. And as soon as the gentleman arrives in the courthouse, we shall murder him. I mean, reconvene. Yes. A recess won't be necessary, my lord.
Oh!
Pardon? Migatoba is a close friend of mine. He accompanied me here today and is waiting in the antechamber as we speak. I do believe he's been enjoying a little trip down memory lane, in fact. Yes, I don't like it. What? Professor Migatoba is here in the courthouse?
Mr. Sholmes, you didn't know this will happen, did you?
My dear fellow, no one is in a better position to answer that question than you, surely.
He wasn't just asking for the fun of it, you know.
I don't want my voices to be wrong for the character, so I don't want to know that. Well, I must thank you for your assistance in this matter, Mr. Sholmes. However, you are no further use here. Kindly leave the courtroom at once. But of course, in truth, I find myself rather busy now as a result of these developments. Mr. Naruhodo?
Yes!
I trust you have Iris's little lucky charm with you?
Absolutely. It's still in my pocket.
See, she sends her regards. As a reminder, if you find yourself at a dead end, the ears are at your disposal. Whoosha. Just one tug, if you please.
Oh, of course.
Just give it a tug and we will deploy our Deus Ex Machina at once. And in that case, the trial will continue without delay. Bailiff, show the witness to the stand.
So it's Lord Strongheart. He's the Reaper of the Bailey. Where exactly this trial to take me, I wonder? Just how deep I'm about to be plunged into the blackness of the abyss. Well, I'm ready. I'm ready to head into the heart of this maelstrom and confront whatever horror tries to drown me under.
You mean this maelstrom heart?
Oh my god, that was a pun!
It took you 2 games to know that?
English is my second language, for crying out loud.
Oh, well, I didn't know that.
Anyway, now you do.
I'm sorry.
That's okay. To be continued.
Yay! We made it! Woo!
Okay, so that means next time is gonna be the finale.
Well, let me check. Yep. That is, next part will be the finale.
Okay. Looking forward for that on Thursday. Definitely looking forward for that. Okay, so we still got some people here, so let's see. I'm checking, is there someone we can raid?
It's kind of late. I wonder if anyone's still streaming at this hour.
Actually, yeah, quite couple people. Actually, Dickus is doing some Fortnite, so why not? Let's send that over there. It's something chill compared to all of this going on.
All right. Make sure to tune in on Thursday, everyone.
Yeah, for the finale. Anyway, thank you very much for everything, the raid, the voice, all that. I appreciate it. I really appreciate it, talking seriously.
Yeah.
Anyway, we'll see you Thursday, and have a good rest of the night. And send my regards to Dickus.
Yeah. Have fun, everyone. Bye.